This is Cypher, and today is what's today? Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. What's going on, Mr. All Days Off? Thank you for your view and your like, sir. Interesting concept. Yes, I'm not gonna lie. I ain't really seen much to talk about today. I wanted to just come up with something just because I wanted to talk about something that actually had some type of depth. Because it just hit me when John Cena was talking that yeah, half of his time is pretty much over with. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on for the near future. So I'm gonna break this down real quick. And you know what I like to do. I be forgetting, and my memory be shot. So I'll probably say the same thing I'm saying now in about 7 to 10 minutes. So John Cena is halfway through his year. He has 19 appearances left, or matches, or whatever, appearances. Um, what else? We are halfway through the year of 2025. So if everything correlates right, like it's going so far, we're probably gonna get 5 more John Cena matches and 5 more John Cena matches and um, 14 more John Cena dates. Um, so it'll be interesting seeing how they play that out, who all he's going to go against. We could always fantasy book, you know what I'm saying? But I just wonder who's actually going to be the one to challenge Cena every month. Is he going to be on SmackDown and Raw a lot? Or is he just more so going to appear at the pay-per-views and maybe show up on a Raw or SmackDown based on the convenience of the PLE? I'm not really sure. I can definitely see it being stretched out, you know what I'm saying, between now and then. I'm looking at the calendar, and it ain't just too much going on for the rest of the year. Like, we got the big ones out the way. We got WrestleMania out the way, Money in the Bank out the way, but the other two big ones are SummerSlam and Survivor Series. Everything else in between and all around ain't really that big of a deal. So I just wonder, like, where we are going to go with this. But before we get into all that, and thank you for whoever just hit that like button again for the second like, I appreciate you. We're basically going to be grading John Cena's matches. I don't want to just say his promos and appearances just because, I don't really think you can just grade that for real. I mean, you can, but it's all based on, the story or whatever. I just want to grade like his matches and see what actually makes sense as far as what we're going to be talking about. So, John Cena has a total of 5 matches. Carissa Bayer says, hi, how you doing, Carissa? Thank you for stopping by. Please hit that like button. I appreciate you. So basically, Cena has had 5 matches. He's had the Men's Royal Rumble. Thank you for that like. I see you. I appreciate you. He's had the Men's Royal Rumble. He's had the Men's Elimination Chamber. He's had the WrestleMania match against Cody Rhodes. He's had the match against R-Truth and against Randy Orton, not in that particular order. What's up, man? High definition lawn care says, damn, I'm dropping the D to be feeling good. Well, okay. Man, it's hot out here. Let me get to this stuff, man. For all those who's coming by and stopping by, I'm going to say one thing like I do every time. Whether you're dipping out or hanging out, please hit the like button. I appreciate you. It helps me out. So, everybody else can come in and chat when they come in. I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, for those who are watching, won't be held back or waiting, looking at me to watch y'all. We're about to get started, right? So, those are the 5 matches he's had. We're going to grade each one. So, from the beginning, we're going to grade the Royal Rumble performance, right? John Cena came in the Men's Royal Rumble. I think he did a pretty good job. The fact that he made it to number 2 was a nice callback to 2005 when he made it to number 2. And several other Royal Rumbles where he made it to number 2. But that's the first one I remember because that was the first one he made it to number 2 at. And it was him and Jey Uso in the finals of the Royal Rumble. And John Cena was doing his thing. He seemed a little gassed, but not like CM Punk was when he first returned. When CM Punk returned, CM Punk looked gassed. So it would look pretty bad. But John Cena, he looked regular in the Royal Rumble. He's just like another participant. So I think he did pretty good. He did really good at the pacing, not making any mistakes, making it look like he was about to fall off when he didn't, maintain his body composure. I give him an A. I give him an A for the Royal Rumble. I think what he did was pretty cool. FU and everybody coming through, having these different exchanges with everybody. So I give him an A for the Royal Rumble. It was good seeing him in the Royal Rumble. It didn't feel like somebody's dad was in there or like this old timer you gotta be careful with. It just seemed like another participant. He blended in well with the other talent while also highlighting their talent as well. So I'm gonna give him an A. So the second match, the men's elimination chamber. Okay, when Cena was in the men's elimination chamber, I'm not gonna go over who else was in there besides Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, I think AJ Styles. I don't know. I think AJ Styles, CM Punk, and Logan Paul, right? If I'm saying it right. What's going on, Exposure E? He said, hi, I appreciate you. Please hit that like button. It helps me out. I thank you so much. So Cena did this thing there. He was beating people up. He was getting beat up. It actually was a good chamber. Kind of forgettable just because you have a lot of aged people in there. So it wasn't going to be no crazy spots. We more so saved that for Logan Paul. But overall, it was still cool. It was interesting seeing him get that last pinfall at the very end when he pretty much, I ain't gonna say cheated, but he definitely didn't have a, what do you say, an honorable way of winning that one. So yeah, that was definitely interesting to see that. I thought it was cool for him to pick up that pinfall like that at the end, and I wish I was paying more attention to it. I watched it, but I didn't pay it no mind. I didn't see a double cross coming. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he gave us a hint, an Easter egg that he was gonna go bad by the way he cheated by winning against CM Punk, or pretty much stole the victory, I'll say, is a good hint to say what happened afterward with The Rock and Travis Scott. That whole performance to me kind of differs from the Royal Rumble a little bit because John Cena didn't have as much time in the chamber. If he had the same amount of time in the chamber as he had the Rumble and performed way more, then I would definitely give it an A+. But right now I'm just gonna give it an A. So So Cena gets to me an A for his Elimination Chamber performance because the ending when he teamed up with The Rock and Travis Scott to beat Cody Rhodes, I thought was a brilliant way to introduce the new heel Cena, something that pretty much broke the internet, and one of those things that doesn't really just happen like that. And I see that Elimination Chamber is WWE's way. It seems like a breaking news, breaking internet, being like a meme-worthy event. Remember when Sami Zayn betrayed the Bloodline, or Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber? No, that was at Royal Rumble, my bad. But remember when he fought Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber one year and almost won? It's become a staple of people putting more eyes on something like that. It's more of a gimmick pay-per-view that I think we're probably going to be keeping for now on. And I don't think that's going to change. So John Cena gets an A for that. So now we're at Randy Orton versus John Cena. I'm sorry, I'm just tripping. Now we're at Cody Rhodes versus John Cena at WrestleMania 41. Okay, so WrestleMania 41 versus Cody Rhodes. In my personal opinion, I get it. This was his coming out party of being a heel. This was his way of trying to get people to not like him by doing the least amount of moves and everything else is possible. I wasn't really messing with it. I didn't really get it. Like I got it. I understood what he was doing. A lot of people didn't like that. They hated it, but I just didn't really care for it because physically it just wasn't a draw to watch either. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things where he could at least give us a little more. I get what he was doing, but the match was very, very boring between him and Cody Rhodes. So I'm gonna have to give that, if I'm being honest, like a D. And I'm not trying to be like harsh, but like it was pretty bad. I barely remember any John Cena's offense, and the fact that Travis Scott is the one that was John Cena's saving grace in that pay-per-view pretty much to me derailed the whole effect of everything. It felt like it was very wrong. Didn't like it. Very lackluster performance, very terrible ending. The only reason why, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you what, I'll be nice, I'll give it a C, just because of the overall effect of what's supposed to happen. It was supposed to be like that. It was supposed to be boring. It was supposed to be no pyro. It was supposed to be a lackluster win. It was supposed to be barely anything going on because he wanted you to hate him. He wanted you to he wanted you to see that he was ruining wrestling. So the overall effect definitely made sense. So I can't take that away from Cena. Cena definitely got the point across and he delivered very well. It's just that the match itself was so lackluster that it kind of took points away from that. So at the most, I'm gonna have to give that one a C. Now we're up to Randy Orton versus John Cena. Now that was at Backlash last month, and I'm gonna be honest, man, that was a pretty good match. It was interesting seeing John Cena and Randy Orton's chemistry after all these years. All these years later, they're still doing each other's moves. Went through announce tables, regular tables, uh, just beating each other up, and it was good. They were kicking out finishers. It was a good callback for one of the greatest rivalries of all time. And I gotta say, it definitely had more chemistry with each other than John Cena had with Cody Rhodes. It blew Cody Rhodes' match out the water. John Cena definitely showed up and showed out. He had more stamina. He had more moves. He was doing a lot more than he did in the Cody Rhodes match. So I definitely want to give that one an A, just because of their back and forth performance with him and Randy Orton. If Randy Orton did anything less than what he did, then I had to give it a B. But I'm definitely giving that an A for now. What's going on, Robert? How you doing? Thank you for your view and your like, and thank you for everybody that's in the chat now. If you don't mind hitting that like button, it helps me out. I appreciate you. It's good to welcome you to the Farside family. Rob says, sorry I'm late. What's popping, my brother? You are good, bro. There is no late. You can come in for a few seconds and hop out if you want. It's all good. I appreciate you. This killing's time, not Cody's. Cody had his time. What's going on, Lamont, with the Japanese? So Robert's on the train he's on the Ron Killings train, right? Robert says that Ron Killings should win the world championship. And you know what's funny? He said he should be John Cena for it. And it's funny because I got a coworker today that said the same thing. Lemon said, hey, hi, how you doing, Lemon? Please hit that like button. Thank you so much. Shout out to you, Lemon. A coworker of mine said the same thing today. He said it would be nice if R-Truth or Ron Killings wins. He should win because of that. And you know what? Based on tradition, normally somebody of his stature, like they would say, wouldn't. But also based on how things are going now with the whole internet and people having a following that would propel them to the main event scene like they did LA Knight, it would make sense for Ron Killings to challenge Cena for the world title and to possibly beat him. Now, in my personal opinion, I think you guys are half right. I think that if they show and display more what Ron Killings can do, then he should get he should have the world title at some point, even if it's for like a week or whatever. I don't know. But I feel like he should have a shot at Cena for the belt. And I think we should make it like, I don't know how that would work. That goes into my fantasy book we're about to talk about too. Rob says, don't forget my Mr. I See Color comment. Okay, Rob says, Mr. I See Color needs to have John Cena and Ron Killings main event WrestleMania. Oh my gosh. Ron Killings is like in his 50s, but hey, he's still moving around. Bernard, what's going on? Bernard Doherty, that's my fan booking. Bet. Okay. What's your fan booking? Also, what was I about to say? Also, I gave that an A, right? So far, Cena's whole highest win is an A. So now we go on to his latest match with Ron Killings. It's funny you was talking about that. I'm trying to get used to saying Ron Killings again. So John Cena versus Ron Killings at Saturday night's main event, I think was okay. I think it was pretty much mirrored Cody Rhodes' match. I think they still had the same amount of chemistry. It was just more so a gimmick match that you couldn't take serious anyway. So it wasn't really much to it to me. I think a C is probably the highest it would be. Actually, I'm gonna be honest, I might even give that one a B minus just because it seemed like they had more moves. They did more moves in that actual match as opposed to the ones he had with Cody Rhodes. It was definitely less moves there. So I'm gonna give that one against R-Truth a B minus because there really wasn't much going on, but you pretty much expected it, but a lot more happened than we expected as well. So I'm gonna definitely give him that. Let me turn my arrow on like a person. Rob says, Mr. I See Color, Triple H new name, brother. Hope you're used to it by now. Mr. I See Color. Yeah, Triple H, every time you think he out the box, he end up doing something that make you be like, bro, are you or are you not? Because we know about your past, we get it, but we try to forget about it. Shawn Michaels already tried to wash away his sins, his past, with all this black booking for NXT, which is working. I'm not gonna lie, it's working, because it is working. But he had Naomi win the Money in the Bank, and that made me like him again. I was like, you know what? If he had money, if he gave it to Naomi, we back good. But then the R-Truth situation, like, it was just weird. It was weird. So, but I'm glad he's back too. So the fans wanted it to happen. It is what it is. But Bernard Doherty said they acted like it might do something by having a non-title. Yeah, they did. And I initially thought it was for the belt. That's why I was like, well, I guess if it's going to be for the championship, whatever, that's fine. But non-title, it makes sense too. So, I mean, whatever. I'm just glad they had that callback match because they needed it. So it is what it is. Rob said, reason his name I see color because look at the black talent WWE now. He got New Day on there, and the New Day ain't doing nothing. They not really, but they champions. And thank you for that like too. I appreciate that. They're not doing much right now, but they are champions, and I think they're kind of stalling with them to give them a proper opponent, the right team, because nothing really was going on right now. So I don't know about that part. Rob says Shawn Michaels living up to his change. He is. I'm not gonna lie. Bernard says, remember Velveteen Dream? He was great. Yes, I do. I never watched him in NXT. I always saw clips, but I think he was just a little too flamboyant for my taste. I didn't really like seeing all that. I understood it, but I was like, nah, that ain't my thing. But I understand he was very talented. Goku, what's going on, Goku? You know Eddie, the WWE that died? Yes, Eddie Guerrero was my second favorite wrestler at the time of his passing. My favorite wrestler at that time was Chris Benoit, and he ended up dying 2 years later. So that was very weird for me when losing both of them within a couple years. But yeah, Eddie Guerrero was one of the GOATs for sure. Definitely on the Mount Rushmore of luchadors. Honestly, him and Ray are definitely two of the four on the Mount Rushmore of luchadors. Definitely. Rob said, I low-key thought Cena in Truth at Saturday Night Main Event was for the belt. I thought it was too. I feel like it might have been for the belt, but then they changed at the last minute, and we had suffered like the Mandela effect, thinking maybe it wasn't, but I think it probably was initially. Because why wouldn't it be? Bernard said, yeah, I support giving R-Truth the belt. It would be dope to see him have it at least one time. Let him retire in greatness. Let him be in the Hall of Fame, because apparently they say you have to have a WWE Championship to be in the Hall of Fame, but I've seen plenty of Hall of Famers that I really don't think have the WWE Championship. I don't know. I don't recall. But you should give it to him anyway, just because, I mean, people would tune in, especially with the new Ron Killings look. Come on, man. He can pull it off, and he's still in shape. So let's get it. He's in his 50s, but he's moving around way well, very well. Bernard, you got to check out that Black and Gold NXT. Yeah, I know, man. I was way past it after it ended. By the time I was ready to start watching, they start having the NXT 2.0, and I was like, no, sir. But Braun Breaker was enough to make me say maybe I'll stick around. And then they changed it back to NXT regular. I was like, okay, now I'm all the way invested. And that's when I had my big four. I was watching every week: Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes, and Trick Williams. So seeing them, I was sold for sure. Rob said, Velveteen Dream talking about ruining wrestling. Yeah, I saw his thing. Thank y'all for that like too. I appreciate it. I saw his thing with Seth Rollins. I don't know. It sounds definitely like a promo, but whatever. Goku said, and that guy that his neck snapped. I don't know. It's a few of them. Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit. There's a lot of them that had their neck snapped. Said it's so sad. Said how, yeah, it is very sad. It's a sad day when a wrestler passes away, especially in an unprecedented way. And hi, right back to you, Goku. Rob said, Goku checking to see if you living up to your Super Saiyan form. I am, Kakarot. Y'all funny. Bernard, give it to him for a week and then have Cena take it back. No fuss, no muss. I get that, and I think that would be great, but I'm pretty sure, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure Cena's never getting the belt again. And the reason I say that is because the 17 thing was the goal, the ultimate goal that will never be passed anyway. unless Randy Orton goes on a steroid monster Perk Angle run and wins 3 more or 4 more to pass it. But I don't think they're going to make him an 18-time champion. That's the only loophole, and that's the only reason I feel like that wouldn't be applicable. Thank you for that like. I appreciate it. Because that would make him an 18-time champion. That's the only thing. That's why I think the World Heavyweight Championship changing hands is so important, because we know the John Cena's locked in. There is no change in that. I feel like, in my personal opinion, he's probably going to just vacate it at the end of the year. That's what I think is going to happen. You say he's the last real champion. I think that gimmick's going to carry toward him not losing to anybody and being remembered as the GOAT. I think that's where they're going with it, to be honest with you. Rob said Bernard said, yeah, they got to do an Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther. They keep seeing us say that. They just need to do it. Do it for the culture. Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther. Just do it. Just do it. Let it be for the world title. Ilya ain't even got to win. But put the spotlight on Ilya, because that dude is like a young GOAT. He is the future. Let him be great. Rob said, Vegeta promoting you to the guys. Vegeta saying, unlike Booker T and Lil Wayne, Cypher loyal to his Saiyan pride. Well, you funny, boy. You funny. Thunder Flash going on. Thoughts on Gunther winning back the World Heavyweight Championship? I think, an unpopular decision, unpopular opinion, I think it was the right choice. To be honest, I think that was the right choice. Only because it's Jay, and even though Jay, a lot of people didn't feel like was ready for it, I don't feel like he was ready for it himself. I think he had what you would call Eddie Guerrero syndrome, which I feel like him and Eddie Guerrero remind me a lot of each other when it comes to passion, but they really don't need the world title to carry that. I don't think that Jay needs the world title to beat Jay. Like, he was just fine yeeting everywhere, and everybody's yeeting together. They would have did the same thing without the belt, I promise you. So I think they gave that to him as a say, we had you in the Royal Rumble, we made a promise, we had to keep our promise, and now we have to take, we got it out the way. You win the world title. Bet. Now let's get it off. Same thing with Damian Priest. You win the Money in the Bank briefcase. We tired of people getting their Money in the Bank spoiled. We have to set an example. We don't want Damian Priest as champion, but fine. He earned it. Let's give it to him. He won it. Now let's take it away. I think it's the same situation. Those guys are great and they deserve to be world champions, but as far as what they do with it, I don't think it's carrying itself as it should be, or as it would be. When I see Jey Uso, I don't see world championship next to Seth Rollins, because it seems like he gets overshadowed with them anyway. So I kind of think it was the right decision. He doesn't need the world title. I'm just being honest. I'm not gonna say he's bigger than it, but I mean, it's not really his thing. Like, he doesn't need it. It's like the Fiend. He didn't need the world title, but they did that and kind of ruined the whole experience. But it is what it is. Bernard said, yeah, you're right. Thank you, bro. Sid T, 20-time champ, but you funny. Thank you. Bernard said, nah, he's losing. They probably want to make someone by having them beat Cena, and I think it would solidify Cody Rhodes. Maybe. I'm pretty sure it's Cody Rhodes versus Cena at SummerSlam, but I don't think Cody's winning there. But that would be 2 losses against Cody, so I don't know. It's kind of hard to predict. Rob said you should do a live game and stream. That would be cool, but I still got 2K24, so I don't know if y'all want to see that. Rob said Jey Uso is no Eddie Guerrero. I'm not saying he is, but he reminds me a lot of him when he gets in his bag, when he gets in that passion bag. That's just my opinion. Bernard says, sure, but I get the comparison, Uso and Guerrero. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. Definitely not the same caliber, but it reminds me of each other. Just like JD McDonough reminds me of Chris Benoit in a lot of ways. The original Chris Benoit before he went all cuckoo. Rob said they put the title on Eddie because Brock was leaving. Yeah, and Eddie himself admitted he wasn't ready for it. He wanted to give it to Randy Orton or somebody young, and JBL ended up taking the belt for him. So, see how that worked out. Eddie Guerrero versus JBL feud was a classic. It was, but a little too off the rails for me. Really sorry you ruining the Wyatt 6. Hopefully not. Kurt was Big Show's injured. You don't have 2K25? No, sir, I don't. Jamie Dunn is super talented. Bernard, thank you. I agree wholesomely. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all so much. Rob said, why was it off the rails for you? Watch Eddie Guerrero and JBL. And JBL, I don't like him because he definitely didn't pull his punches. He definitely hit people really hard on purpose. And the way Eddie was bleeding a lot, it was just too bad. Like, it shouldn't have happened like that. Great feud, but it was just too much. Like, it was really bad. So Good chat, home slice. Thank you, Bernard. I hope you're a new subscriber. Welcome to the Far Side family. If so, if not, I understand. I appreciate it. I'm gonna be back here tomorrow talking at the same time. Thank you all for coming in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Y'all really make this fun for me, and I'm about to get back to it. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch y'all later, and y'all be good. Say hi. He bled everywhere. Yes, he really did. It was bad. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Rob, Maddo, all y'all stay blessed. New sub. Thank you, Bernard. I appreciate it. And I'll see y'all the next day. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Wednesday. 4 letters. Right? Did I do it right? Yeah, I did it right. One alert. Wait. Hold on. I gotta get this right before I leave. Thunderflash, new sub. Thank you. If I do botch it, that's fine. I'm gonna go with it. One word, 4 letters. Yeet.